I'll just repeat the question quickly for anyone who didn't hear. She was talking about, we had been discussing about letting go when people do things that are hurtful to you or hurt you. And she said, well, but how do you deal with that? What if someone has really hurt you? I mean, Puja Swamiji is always emphasizing forgiveness. But what if someone's really hurt us or really abused us? And I think it's really important to draw a distinction here between condoning something and forgiving it. None of us has been appointed the karmic police. God, I mean, at least as far as I know, I certainly haven't been appointed that yet. Until and unless God comes down and says, okay, I need your advice. What to do about this person? In a situation like that, your response might be different. But until and unless that happens, we have to have faith that the law of karma is working, that it's functional, it's on. People are going to get the fruits of what they sow. I can plant an apple seed, and then I can say, oh, I'm so sorry, I am so sorry. I can chant peach mantras and say peach prayers and sing peach songs. I'm never going to get peaches out of that apple seed. It doesn't matter if I get the top religious leader of every religion and everybody in the world to sign a petition saying I really deserve peaches. The law of nature has been created in such a way that from an apple seed, doesn't matter who you've got on your side, doesn't matter who's forgiven you and says you're wonderful and that you deserve all the peaches in the world, you're not going to get them out of that seed. So in the same way, when someone does something wrong that is violent, in word, in deed, in thought, through acts of commission, acts of omission, they're going to get the fruits of that in the same way that when I plant a seed, I get the fruits. You forgiving them or not forgiving them bears no connection whatsoever to the fruit of what they did. It's like me getting everybody to sign a petition saying I deserve peaches. So the question then becomes, okay, they're going to get what they deserve. But by me not letting it go, I've locked myself up in jail with them. Puja Swamiji was talking about the jailer and the prisoner. Well, the prisoner's in jail. That's his karma based on what he did, or she did. But if I hold on to it, I've just locked myself up in there with them. So we let go, not because what they did was okay, but because we need to move on. We let go for us, not for them. And that's the great thing about the universe, is they don't check with us. God doesn't put us on the spot and say, okay, now you tell me they should get the fruits of that karma or not. So we don't have to worry about that day coming.
But do we say to them, I forgive you, or do we just do it within ourselves?
Either way. I mean, it's a different situation in different examples, but if you can say to them, I forgive you, that's wonderful. Because it takes a truth. There's something about a spoken truth that tends to have a lot of power. There are, however, many situations in which saying it to someone is impossible. They're dead. We're not speaking to them, whatever it is. Or there are many situations in which that person is so far from realizing the wrongness of what he or she did, that they would misinterpret your forgiving as condoning. And so we also don't want that. So you're going to have to be the judge, not the ego that says, oh God, do I really have to say that? Not that part, but the higher self. will speaking it out loud actually take me further on the path of letting it go? Because, I mean, it's like, let's say I'm a chain smoker and I decide I'm going to quit smoking. Well, I could decide that every day for the rest of my life and never quit smoking, because the minute I have an urge to smoke, I'm just going to smoke. But if I stood in the center of the town square, I went on national TV, or I posted it on Facebook that I was going to quit smoking, well, now there's a little more pressure. Because now the world knows. And so there's a little more power in putting that forgiveness in words for us, simply because it makes it so much harder to go back. It makes it so much harder to turn around and yell at that person about it again, if you've already told them that you forgive them.
Perfect. Like, sometimes I get pretty stressed out, like, on emotional and physical level. So it's like, I just can't deal with it sometimes. And like, yeah, meditating, it's like, it calms me down, but sometimes I just like, get to the point where like, I'll just get stressed again. And it just doesn't work. And I don't know, maybe I could get some advice from you guys.
First of all, can we have a big round of applause? Where would most of us be today if we had been meditating at that age? So, there's a few things going on. How old are you?
13.
I have to keep this really short, but I want to give you something that you can hold on to. Stress feels emotional, but it's actually a chemical reaction in the body. When you're under stress, we could actually take a blood test and a scan and actually show, yes, this boy is stressed. It's actually a chemical reaction in the body. I'm not going to go deeper into that, except to tell you that there's a group of hormones in the body that we call them adrenaline, that get released at a time of stress. Now, the reason I mention that is, that happens to everybody. Anybody in this room gets stressed. If a gunman came through that door right now, every one of us would have adrenaline flowing through our blood. We'd all have fast heart rates, our palms would sweat. But you have a unique challenge. At the age of 13, in addition to adrenaline, you've got all sorts of other hormones flooding your blood. They go high, they go low. Sometimes they're like big waves. This is the time in your life in which your being, even if you weren't stressed, your being would be flooded with hormones. That's the challenge of these years. It's not going to end anytime soon. Give it at least another 5 or 6 years. But what you should know is, it doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. If we opened up your head and we made a hole in your head and we took a big vat of chemicals and we poured it into your body, and then some reaction happened, you'd understand it was all these chemicals they just dumped into my body. It's the same thing. The only difference is they're being generated on the inside. So that's the first piece. There's nothing wrong with you. The fact that you're able to sit here, that you're even able to meditate at all, is fabulous. This is the time when we drown in the ocean of the chemicals that are flooding our bodies. So if in that ocean you're able to find an anchor that at least you can hold on to when those waves are coming, when they're flooding you, that's a great thing. Find that anchor within. So when you're meditating, when you're in a moment of meditation when it's working, before it gets to the point where it's not working, in the moment when it's working, find that anchor. Identify it. What does it look like? What does it feel like? How does it feel inside you? Hold on to it. Let that be your anchor at all times so you can always go back to it. And then lastly, Puja Swamiji always talks about stress management and how it's not so much a matter of managing our stress, because we typically only manage things that we care about. We manage our money, we manage our finances, we manage our health. So when we talk about managing our stress, it somehow sounds like it's something we want to take care of. So it's not a matter of managing the stress. It's a matter of managing the self. And when you manage the self, the stress in and of itself will become less and less. Your breath, like I told her, great ally. The minute you start to feel stressed, if you can't meditate, no problem at that time. But can you breathe right here, really low? How much can you fill that abdomen like a balloon? How long can you hold it? That'll bring you right back down. And every day before you sleep, ask yourself, okay, what did I get stressed about today? And just in your mind or visually, if you've got in your home some temple or shrine or altar or image of something to you that's holy and divine, offer that stress to them. As we've been talking all night, the universe knows what it's doing. They'll take care of your problems also, don't worry. An exam, some sports, friends, girlfriends, they're nothing in the hands of the universe. Don't worry about it. The universe can take care of huge things, but you have to offer them. So every time the stress comes, when it feels too much for you, just put them in the hands of the universe. Put them in the hands of God, or however you envision the divine. Knowing that He's handled much, much bigger things than this and can take care of it for you. Okay? And then just hold on to that anchor for the next few years, and it'll calm down as the years go on. Okay? But you're doing great.